I'm not sure who's hosting, but there's some of us in the UK and some of us in the US. So I think one or other of us is going to end up with a laggy game. Yeah, I'm UK based.
Okay, so what time is it over now? Pretty late?
It is about 11 PM.
Wow, it's not that bad. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's like it's 10 to 11, and it was meant to be starting at 9 and going on until 11, the second lot of gameplay, but I'm planning on playing for a couple. I mean, frankly, I accepted 100 invites, then there were some people that weren't online, so I ended up deleting them off my friends list because they weren't online, and some other people were that weren't on my friends list.
Rules what you're allowed to talk about and what you're not, or
So there aren't. I mustn't be talking about single player because we don't want any spoilers released on that front.
how about multiplayer? Can you talk about that?
I can talk about any multiplayer stuff you want, really. There are a couple of bits, but it's like I'll just go. No, I can't talk about that if you ask me about them. That's.
What kind of other multiplayer game modes are going to be in the full game?
What other multiplayer modes? So in this we've got Crysis and we've got Team Instant Action. And now in the full thing you've got Instant Action on top of that, and that's with Team Instant Action with no teams. So all the all, and that gets really quite hectic, shall we say? Especially on a couple of the smaller maps. I think there was, I mean, there's one map, Impact, which is where a couple of buildings kind of one's fallen over and smashed into the other. So you got this really nice contrast between sort of modern office block and an old style hotel. But that's so small that actually we're trying to work out if we could kind of reduce the player limit for Instant Action on that to 8 players, because it's brutal. I mean, in an Instant Action match, the sound of gunfire from like 5 or 6 sources just never stops, ever. It's just continually hammering away. Sorry, other game modes though. There's Assault, which is where you have one team of guys with nanosuits, but only armed with pistols, trying to infiltrate and download data from terminals guarded by effectively mercenaries who don't have nanosuits but have bigger, shinier guns.
That'd be interesting.
So it's quite asymmetrical and quite nice. Yeah. There is private matching on consoles. That's the winner. Other game mode, there's one more, and that's Extraction, and that is attack defense. So it's round based. But there's 2 more. There's Extraction, which is this attack defense round based one where you have to try and extract 2 alien sort of ticks, sort of biological beasties that you see in the single player, and you need to try and extract them to your chopper. So one team's defending and one team's attacking, trying to grab them and make off with them. And whenever you grab them, one gives you a bonus to your armor mode and one gives you a bonus to your cloak mode.
Play the whole dog tag system as far as how it works with kill streaks, how you have to actually physically.
That was bad.
I think that was a great idea.
Bad.
And then there's the pro that retrieves it for you.
I tell you what, there is a perk that retrieves for you, but you know what? That if you go for that, it means you're not using another one. And frankly, I don't think I've ever used that perk simply because I like the other bits of kit that you can put in that slot much more. You are going to. I'm not quite sure what we've announced on this, but I'm gonna risk going ahead and saying that there's a big chunk of shiny stats stuff on there. Full stats tracking stuff is going to be released, and I know there's something which I'm not going to talk about, which is very, very cool, which they're putting up on there, but it's just a neat little sort of web-driven thing that I haven't really seen any other game do before or come up with. I know that I was really quite surprised when they told me what they were planning on doing. So there will be there's going to be lots of stats on there, and there's going to be an extra something special shiny. But you have to wait. This. Oh, and the last game mode I hadn't told you about is capture the relay, which is sort of CTF based thing. Essentially, yeah. It's a bit less. It's a bit more subtle. You've got to have a little bit of a stronger defense because it's harder to actually track down the guy with it. He's not as obviously running around with a giant thing on his back, and he can still cloak and the like.
Can you talk about kingdoms at all, or are you just strictly Crysis?
So I'm a senior programmer working just on Crysis. I've just been working Crysis 2 for the past 2.5 years, I think. What I find is that you do get some people camping, but with the combination of the kill cam and stealth and the nanovision, it just kind of means that they can kill you once and then you stealth up to them and snap their neck. How do you mean interactable environment? There's plenty of maps with destructible stuff, like this one, and then there's a couple with kickable cars, which is always good fun.
Oh yeah, didn't know that. Amazing.
Well, you're in a battle suit, the nano suit, so you go into strength mode, shoot the car at someone, and then shoot it in a tank. There are no vehicles in multiplayer. No spoilers for single player, I'm afraid. So there are. I'm not a graphics programmer.
Radar.
I'm gameplay and optimization.
Dang, man.
So what do I do? The stuff I do is I take bits of code that we notice are slow and make them fast. I also fix things that are broken. I'm a bit of a troubleshooter because I know the systems quite well. So if something goes horribly wrong and there's a crash, fairly often I'll be roped in to go and help work out what the hell's going on with it. Yeah, so if frame rate issues are generally sort of broken up into two types. There's issues with the CPU, and there's issues with the graphics GPU. So I look at the CPU issues. I'm not a GPU programmer.
Oh, headshot too.
Do you know how long Crysis 2 has been developing?
Well, I know essentially the initial pre-production stuff was kicked off basically when Crysis 1 finished, pretty much. But there's been a lot of R&D work going on, a lot of engine stuff. You do a lot of iteration. It's like the current design of Nanosuit. I think we went. I mean, from a gameplay point of view, I think we went through 3 or 4 different versions of how the Nanosuit work and the different modes before we actually settled on this one. It can be quite wearing. It's like you code it all up and you play test it, and it's in the game for like 4 months with people playing it, and then you go, well, you know what? I don't really think this is as good as it could be. Let's try it again.
So, what's the highest level you can reach in the demo?
In the demo, the highest level is level 10.
Oh.
So to make it destroy the jaw actually replaces the grenades?
Yeah. So you're gonna get...
It only can be used against air support?
It can do, but it's quite tough to hit with it. Against the flying one. The main use we tend to see is people using it against people defending crash sites, or when people are using maximum suit. Sometimes on some of the interior maps you'll have different team bonuses. So rather than the set airstrike, you might get maximum suit, which for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, the whole team ends up with infinite energy on the suit. And like a massively boosted armor mode. It's pretty deadly.